I think we all move past the Zurawski v. Texas court case a little too quickly, because these are women who have stories like this one. Texas forced this woman to give birth to a stillborn son, and she sued in the Texas v. Zurawski court case. Kirsten Hogan is one of the first plaintiffs. At 19 weeks pregnant, just days after Texas's Senate Bill 8 went into effect, she woke up in excruciating pain. Her water had broken, and by the time she had arrived at the hospital, she had lost too much amniotic fluid for her son to survive. But the hospital staff, because of the abortion bans in place, didn't tell her that. The one thing they did make clear was that she should not leave. I was told that if I tried to discharge myself or seek care elsewhere, that I could be arrested for trying to kill my child. She spent 5 days inside the hospital, where she says religious counselors repeatedly came to visit her. She was terrified of even going to the bathroom, afraid she would go into premature labor and be arrested. On the 5th day in the hospital, while using the bathroom, the son started to enter the birth canal. She was rushed to labor and delivery, where I gave birth to him stillborn. This morning, she was discharged and told she could return to work the next day as if nothing had happened. Kylie Beaton was another plaintiff, who, when she was pregnant, learned that her fetus had a condition that caused the head to grow at an abnormal speed. By the time she received the diagnosis at 20 weeks, her baby's head was the size of a 24-week-old, and she was past the cutoff for an abortion in a neighboring New Mexico. And by the time she was 28 weeks pregnant, her baby's head was the size of a 39-week-old fetus. She asked to be induced, but providers refused, citing the state's abortion ban. At 35 weeks, Beaton was finally granted a C-section, and her son survived for only 4 days. Samantha Cassiano was forced to give birth to a fetus who had anencephaly. When the fetus develops a missing piece of their brain and skull. At her 20-week scan is when she found out. She was prescribed an antidepressant and sent home. Elizabeth Weller's water broke at 19 weeks, and hospital staff suggested she pray, even as they informed her her baby had no chance of surviving without the amniotic fluid. These were all plaintiffs in Zurawski v. Texas. If you don't remember what happened in that case, basically the court stated that none of the doctors, none of the hospital did anything wrong, and they refused to clarify the state's abortion ban. Now we are to the present day with about 5 or 6 different states who are trying to make getting an abortion a criminal offense. And most of those states, what do they charge for a criminal defense? What do they charge for murder? You can be sentenced to the death penalty. Every day that this legislation stands, there are more of these stories that are happening. Whether they get reported in the news or not, they are happening, and people are suffering from these abortion bans.